video, but I'm going to answer the question. Now, before I begin, I will say I'm not giving any medical advice. I'm not making any medical claims, and I'm not making any claims for or against any product or products. Everything stated in the video, the opinions of the speaker. It should not be construed as claims for or against any product or products. Okay, guys. So ultimately today, I'm going to give you my testimonial in regards to using hydrogen water. Now, of course, I have a very specific protocol for the hydrogen water, and I also use specific equipment. My protocols are based on the equipment. I just think that's important because I have used other hydrogen products and they don't work the same. And I've obviously learned a lot about the differences. And some of them, in my personal opinion, can literally be toxic for you or really bad for you. So, okay, so I am talking about pure hydrogen. I do not like to mix it with oxygen if I can avoid that. And so here we go. So my testimonial, what I did is I actually did a self-experiment. I'll probably make a shorter video about it later, but I was just doing my stretching. So I thought I'd share my testimonial with you guys. I quit exercising for roughly 4 years, maybe even upwards to 4.5 years. I did this because I saw a study, muscle atrophy is a big deal. Muscle atrophy can affect a lot of people who are older or get injured and they're completely bedridden. And so ultimately, what I discovered was I found some information that suggested potentially that hydrogen could potentially help with muscle atrophy. It was a terrible experiment that I did on myself. I hadn't really talked about it this whole time, and maybe you guys noticed, or maybe you didn't. Even at some point, some people were commenting how thin I was looking. If you go back and look through my videos, you'll notice some weight changes as far as my muscle. And so what I did was I quit exercising. I really did a really strict hydrogen protocol, hydrogen water, hydrogen gas, specific equipment, the best equipment, and the best protocol that I could come up with. And ultimately, I noticed that it helped a great deal. It probably helped for about 3 years. I think right around the 3.5 year mark, I really started tapering off and really started losing some muscle. But I do think it made a massive difference because if I would have stopped exercising, in my opinion, without hydrogen for that period of time, I think I would have lost a lot more muscle. If I don't exercise, I tend to lose my muscle, relatively quickly, actually. So with the hydrogen, it was quite remarkable, and I think personally that it could make a massive difference for a lot of people, especially the elderly. So I don't think that it's something that is commonly used or a technique that is commonly used. I think it would work really good for athletes with injuries who need to basically stop working out for a while, or again, the elderly, or because they lose a lot of muscle. I just think it makes such a massive difference. And in my opinion, at least for me, it made a really, really big difference. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically do what I would call like a body transformation. I mean, I went down to as low as about 138 pounds. And since I started, I think I was even upwards to about 170 when I really, really, really started. And I'm about 6 feet tall. And I think my body fat percentage was probably somewhere around the neighborhood of 9 point something percent. And I just started doing exercise again. In fact, I'm kind of doing this body transformation right now, putting some effort in and to really see how fast I can gain muscle. And I think I've really, really serious, because I also got sick there for a while. So I think pretty serious. I think I've been at it for probably, I don't know, altogether about a month, maybe 3, 4 weeks. There was a period there where I was doing some stuff for about 2 months and then had to quit for numerous reasons. And then I think right now, seriously, I think I've really had probably about a good month. So maybe a combination of 3 months. I think I need probably just one more month. I've already noticed that I've gained, gosh, I think I'm about 162 pounds at this point, and I'm probably at a 8 or 9% body fat. So that's just, this is all now. This is not for trying to look per se, like look good. This is not for the purposes of trying to get huge. This is for the purposes of just trying to be healthy, feel my best. I'm not trying to, I don't personally recommend nor use things like whey protein. People always ask about these protein powders. Personally, I think they're actually really bad for you. And just because you look healthy, meaning like you're big and you're muscular, doesn't actually mean that you're technically healthy. So, right now, obviously, I'm actually just doing these stretches. I find that another thing that's important is to stay limber. As you age, staying limber is, I think, really good. And I'm finding all these kind of stretches that I really like. And I'm doing them with what's called an ab belt because it activates certain muscles. In fact, I'm going to turn it up. And it activates certain muscles while I'm doing the stretch. And that's something that I'm kind of enjoying because sometimes just stretching, I mean, yeah, that's good and all. But sometimes when you stretch while you're activating certain muscles, it kind of feels like you get a very different type of stretch. And so I enjoy doing that. So hopefully this video was helpful, guys. I'm just going to continue stretching here. If anybody asks questions, you guys can ask them. Otherwise, I'll just shut the camera off. I'll try to make, like I said, a smaller video, but I think for muscle atrophy or even muscle building, the other thing that I'm really noticing the difference. I'm doing, again, a pretty strict hydrogen protocol. I think another important thing to really transform is to get off of microplastics. Now, most people don't realize they're consuming microplastics. On average, apparently, the latest data is showing that we consume probably about one credit card a week full of microplastics, and this affects your hormones. Specifically, it's very like estrogenic, so it can cause a lot of disruption. So if you're trying to build muscle, you're gonna, in my opinion, you're gonna want to clean your water to the highest degree. You guys know that the highest degree of water, in my opinion, is carbon distillation. If you want to use the same one I use, it's from a website called mypurewater.com. And then if you want a discount code, it's uprising144K. And so that's, you got to clean your water. And then try to eliminate foods, try to eliminate things that can not only remove the microplastics or have low content of microplastics. But the other thing is very high fiber consumption. So if you've ever seen my smoothie videos, why? Because fiber really cleanses the body, cleanses the GI, can sweep all these microplastics out. And of course, I use hydrogen to neutralize any potential free radical damage that they are causing and keep my hormones in check. And then if you really, really want to build muscle, in my opinion, again, because I'm trying to do it rapidly, only to show you guys that it can be done. I mean, I could just have a normal routine and not really get all crazy about all this stuff, but I'm trying to show people the things that are possible with a lot of these techniques that I've developed. And one of them is boron. It's just a mineral. The research on it's pretty fabulous. And obviously it shows how it can affect testosterone in very positive ways. And for women, for both men and women, it's really appears to be extremely good for their hormones. And I definitely think so. The Japanese seem to understand a lot about minerals and how they affect the body. So that's my 2 cents on that. And with that being said, I'll go and let you guys go unless you guys have any last questions. Someone says, go get them. All right, Jesse. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time on the next one.